playing out fully from an epidemiological level. You can follow a nose to tail carnivore diet and get everything you need, but it's going to be boring. It's going to be socially restrictive. And I don't think it's something that we see a lot of examples of in terms of just human cultures that have been around for a long period of time.
Yeah, great answer. My research as an undergraduate was in human evolutionary biology, and I have continued to research that till this day. And I can assure you that we were never fully a meat or even fish eater. That dental wear, even on Neanderthals, show a significant contribution of plants to our diet. And Neanderthals were truly a great upper level predator, but even Neanderthals have typical dental wear in their teeth of plant material. So the idea that we had to get that every now and then, you're right. The skeletal record does not confirm that.
Yeah, I think really the biggest issue, in my opinion, is, as Jared Diamond gets into in Guns, Germs, and Steel, just the mass cities and sometimes the lack of hygiene that goes along with that, and the human crowding that was able to develop around the concept of agriculture, and certainly, that did create an issue in terms of just mass quantities of people in one place, and may have contributed a little bit to human disease. And I think also that the evolution of that into monocropping of wheat, monocropping of corn, monocropping of soy, and almost like a rape of the planet Earth in terms of soil degradation and poor farming practices. I think that's a bigger issue than whatever someone growing a backyard patio garden and then going inside and having to feel guilty that all those plants that they're eating are poisoning them. I think it's a ridiculous argument, especially when those plants are properly prepared.
All right. So you also talk about actually one of my favorite subjects, the MTHFR gene, or as I tell my patients, the mother effer gene. Tell our listeners, viewers, what is it? What do you think about it?
Well, I'm no geneticist, but the MTHFR gene, it's essentially just a gene that's going to code for all of the very crucial methylation activities that take place in the body during normal human metabolism on a day-to-day basis. And we know that deficits in methylation, which can be brought on by mitochondrial deficiencies, mold, mycotoxin, biofilm, metal overload, all sorts of issues, can impair cognitive function. It can create gut issues. It can predispose one to higher risk of heart disease, stroke. Like having poor methylation status, whether brought on by genetics or whether brought on by environmental issues, it's a problem. And furthermore, one of the significant things that gene is responsible for doing is the conversion of homocysteine into methionine. And we know that high levels of homocysteine can also be inflammatory and present a lot of issues, particularly from a cardiovascular disease risk standpoint. And so what we see is that there are certain people who tend to be what's called homozygous for that MTHFR gene, meaning they have the AA variant of it. And you see pretty significantly reduced methylation activity and pretty significant elevation of homocysteine levels. And in addition to that, you tend to see some deficiencies in folate because that methylation is very important for the availability of folate. And I think that some people think they've been, cursed if they get a genetic